All right, guys, we are back. This is K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki. Our special guest is Jordan Akin today. Jordan, I had somebody come in, a guest come in. I can't remember who it was. They said that if you don't have a nightmare story in real estate, you haven't been in real estate long enough.
That's true. It's like, do you want one from this week?
yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Oh, man. So, as I've prepped before the commercial break, this is one of my favorite segments because I've literally learned, like, oh, that's a great tip, right? Like from guests that have shared their nightmare stories. So, if you don't mind diving in and sharing the nightmare story that you have for us today.
Well, we, as a real estate developer, there are properties that we purchase that are not vacant land.
Okay.
We are infill developers, so I am usually tearing down a house or some other type of small building in the city and building something larger.
Okay.
So we, as a result of my stories, we have changed how we do this. But earlier on, I was maybe overly optimistic of how quick the city was going to just say, yes, this is a great idea, Jordan. So we had these vacant houses, particularly a couple of them over in the Central 9th neighborhood, which is about 9th South, 2nd West here in Utah.
Gotcha.
In this one particular property, people just loved staying there, but they really didn't want to sign a lease, and they didn't want anyone to know that they were there, but they were really motivated to be there.
Got it.
So every day we would get an opportunity to go ask them to leave, board the property back up, and then hope they wouldn't come back.
Okay.
Well, so I ended up getting in almost a habit of going over to this street every day to deal with it. And one day, I got to see a fire truck.
Oh.
And
oh no.
I went and I looked at my property, and there was no roof anymore.
Oh no.
And it kind of had this black char look to it. And some people had broken in, which was really common.
Uh-huh.
And then they decided they were cold, so they started a fire on the second level.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if they fell asleep or what happened, but the house then went up in flames.
Holy cow.
So pulling off the freeway to go look at it, there's smoke and carnage. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh no.
I hope that's not me. And it ended up being us.
Oh my gosh.
So my house burned down.
Wow. Wow. The people, were they gone?
They had fled the scene, yes. We were not able to identify anybody, but the fortunate thing about it is no one that we can tell what was hurt.
Yes, no one's claimed injury.
We got to it before any of the neighboring properties had been affected, but it was kind of scary. I'm glad I wasn't in there, and no one was, but it was still kind of a scary experience.
Gosh, no kidding. Holy cow. So, what was the plan with that building eventually?
Yeah, we
tear it down anyway?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Luckily, I wasn't too bummed. It might have saved me a little bit in demo cost.
Right. And no more tenants.
Yeah.
Unwanted tenants.
Well, they still like the property.
They still kept coming down.
They just hang out on the main level now.
Okay.
So yeah, we had intentions and ultimately tore it down and built a 18-plex there.
Got it. Very cool. 18-plex, very cool. Just to be clear, that part's the very cool part. Wow. So, did you, just kind of digging a little bit, fire, then I think insurance, did you take that route at all, or?
We chose not to claim it on our insurance. We really didn't have an intention on getting it back up to like rental or for sale condition.
Right.
So I didn't, and I don't know how all insurance work, but I was like, if I have a $80,000 claim, my insurance is probably going to go up for all of my other properties.
Right.
And since we didn't really need to repair it, we just boarded it up and then put up a fence, which seems to be a pretty smart solution to help some of these unwanted guests.
Interesting.
So, piece of advice: if you have a vacant property, get a fence up, and then it's not very fun to hire a night security guard to drive by and keep an eye on it.
Ah, very nice, very nice. How about an alarm system? Did you guys look into that?
I haven't. We have that on, you know, some of our actual existing rental properties, but not on the vacant stuff.
Nothing that you cared if it got burned down anyway.
Yeah.
I actually have a buddy of mine. His dad is a developer down in Lehigh, Utah County. They bought, same kind of story, piece of land, nice big piece of land that had a house on it. And the goal was to eventually demo the house and develop the land. But in the meantime, he thought, let's put a tenant in there and make a little cash flow. Thanksgiving rolled around and these tenants decided to fry a turkey and burnt down the house. And so then he went to his son and said, well, we should file an insurance claim. And they're like, yeah, great idea. And then they discovered, we never got insurance on that house because we just thought we were going to demo it. So they didn't have the opportunity to rebuild it because they still were quite a ways out.
Sure.
In fact, I don't think they've ever developed it yet. So it's just still a burnt house right there in Lehigh somewhere. He's like, I wish we would have gotten insurance knowing what I know now. But eventually we'll demo it, so then we won't care as much. Got it. Okay, so then you have these fire engine people, firemen, over at your house. Any type of, like, I know people that have gotten, tickets or fines from not having their building secure. Did any of that happen?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It did.
We really do try our best to stay in compliance with the city code about, board up procedures.
Yeah.
But I can't help when people break in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a constant battle, but between, and we work with the city officials, but yeah, we end up getting fined quite often for these projects.
Gotcha. I had a couple of vacant houses that, we boarded up, and you do a screw instead of a nail because a screw is a lot harder to take out, but it's not like a homeless guy can't find a screwdriver.
These people who want to come and stay in your properties, they are very ingenious about how to get in.
Yes.
I am shocked at the amount of effort they will make on a daily basis to reside in your home.
Yes.
It is wild.
Wow.
Like, if you just spent a little bit of that energy in the right direction, think about where you and the world would be.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. So I had a gentleman who broke in. We boarded it up. We weren't ready to remodel it yet, and to be honest, it was actually already boarded, and we kind of just made it more secure because we could tell that there was riffraff that had come in and out when we purchased it. So we're like, we better board this better. So we end up boarding it better, and then somehow, some way, and I don't remember how I found out if it was a notice or I don't remember, but a squatter broke in and started living in there. Mm-hmm. And he thought that if he went and paid that year's taxes, that he'd get to own the home. And he did. He went and paid
it?
Yeah, that year's taxes. Actually, he paid part of it. Oh. He didn't have the whole amount.
Sure.
He paid part of the taxes so he could have a receipt that showed and proved he paid part of the taxes on that home. And it was interesting because, he didn't have an attorney.
I had something like that. We actually had a property, maybe this would have been a better story, but we had a property in South Salt Lake where the tenant, we had the end of lease came and that tenant moved. And then when we went back, we had a new tenant. It was his buddy, and his buddy, the old tenant, had given this guy, supposedly, permission to live there.
Oh.
We're like, well, you don't have our permission.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah.
And they were actually really nice, and hey, let us show you because we've done some improvements. We actually painted this wall and replaced this carpet in this room. Do you think you could reimburse us for it? I am not kidding you. I got an invoice from a squatter for the repairs that he had done to a property that he was illegally staying in.
Amazing.
You can't make this up. So we shut off the power, and I don't know what they must have been like a squirrel climbed up to this 40-foot pole, somehow got temp power, tied back into the house, and they were running everything off of those commercial plugs with they're half inch wide and has 6 sockets on it. They ran the whole property off of that thing, stealing power from the neighbor.
Amazing! Like you said, the energy that they spend in this direction.
Oh man!
If they just switched gears.
Yeah.
Wow.
They ended up staying there for like 8 months. It was actually really hard to get them out because they kept claiming that they had a right to stay there by from the other landlord from the other tenant. Sorry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
So you get all sorts.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you have to go through the normal eviction process?
We did.
Got
we
it.
did, yeah. And that still didn't really work, and we ended up just like paying them $1,000 with the sheriff in tow to just please leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
There is actually a video on YouTube of the news shows up. It's a squatter. The landlord's same scenario. Tried to been getting them out forever and ever. News shows up and the person comes out. Is like, yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And yeah, just crazy how that can happen. Okay, cool. So we're gonna take another commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna hear a little bit about who Tag SLC is. Jordan is the owner, CEO, starter, founder of Tag SLC, and Tag SLC does some amazing stuff. So we're going to hear about Tag SLC when we come back. You're not going to want to step away. We will take a quick commercial break. Hi, I'm Yoshi Shiraki, the author of the book My Body's Just For Me, the book written for children to educate children on the prevention of child abuse. With the assistance of multiple best-selling author Richard Paul Evans, we were able to publish this book as a tool to help break the ice in an easy and innocent way to help children understand and learn how to speak up and communicate. I have been invited numerous times on a Good Things Utah to discuss the importance of good communication with your child in regards to abuse, and also to discuss how the book, My Body's Just For Me, is a great tool for every parent when having that tricky conversation with their children. For more information on the book, My Body's Just For Me, please visit www.protectourangels.com today. And remember, the more we focus on prevention, the less we'll have to focus on rehabilitation.